Today I'm going to be talking about how to craft your own social media strategy, like kind of like a do-it-yourself method, because I myself am a do-it-yourselfer, or at least a huge researcher. Before I make any decisions or do anything, I have to research everything before I do it. So I want this to be a resource for anyone who's like that and kind of like me in that aspect. So some key things that I want to mention. I'm not going to go into super detail before, I'm not going to go into super detail into each step, because I want to be able to cover every step. And then maybe later on in future videos, or if someone has a specific question, I can answer it about each step. Okay, so let's start with step number 1. And that is branding. So it's very important to define your brand before you start with anything. And some of these things seem common sense and, oh, I already know my brand. I don't need to write this down. I don't need to do any of that. You do. Because when it comes to delegating it to other people, or each post, or whenever something comes up and you want to comment back, and it's just really important to have that resource to go back to. So when it comes to branding, and what I mean by that is colors, fonts, and maybe you're creating quotes or infographics or whatever, you want to be using the same fonts. And this is also your voice and how you talk and how you interact with people. So that's important to establish and to get recorded and written down, so you can refer back to it, and so others can refer back to it as well. And also you need to decide whether you're going to have a religious preference, and this is your brand that I'm talking about in your business, or your political preference. Are you going to stay neutral with stuff like that, or are you going to lean a certain way, or how are you going to react when something like that happens? Or during holidays, are you going to have holiday posts? Or if maybe you decide to have religious posts, or not religious, but holiday posts for every religion when it comes to the holiday season. It just kind of like saying Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, or Merry Christmas. Maybe you do all of them, or maybe you just do one. It's kind of, or maybe you just say Happy Holidays. It's something that you should really think about before jumping on social media, so that you are unified. And that's the same with the colors. You want everything to be unified when you go and you start posting, because with this unification with your voice, your fonts, your colors, and some other aspects, you want people, when they read your post and they see your post on Instagram or Snapchat, they're like, oh, that is such and such. That's that brand. I know it because it's always the same. So that's kind of the branding aspect of a social media strategy. And then that kind of leads you into, and also with branding, you also want to have, like, if you have a mission statement, and, oh, Livestream, whoo, I gotta maybe look at my notes here. Branding, a big thing that I always do with clients and with myself, is come up with 1 to 3 words that you want people to think about whenever they see your brand or hear your name. If you're a personal brand, maybe whenever they hear your name, what do you want people to think whenever they think about you or they think about your business? Think of 3 words, or sometimes 1 word. I'm reading a book by Evan Carmichael, and it's about how you can find 1 word to describe your whole, everything about yourself and your business and everything. Anyway, I'll be doing a review over that later on, probably this month, but getting off topic. Okay, so that's the branding side. Come up with some words, and then with, let's just say we do pick 1 word and it's awesome. Maybe our word is awesome. Use every post, every tweet, every picture, should be something that's going to represent that word and that's going to lead people more and more into thinking that you are awesome or whatever your word might be. So step number 2 is defining your target audience. Now, this you should probably already know in your business already, but you really want to get specific and really go into detail with your demographic so that you can market correctly to that demographic and so that you can find the right platform. If you don't really know much about your target market or you're kind of lost when it comes to that, I have a video. It's how to do market research with using social media. I'm going to post that in the description below, not right this second, but whenever I'm done with the live stream, I will post that, and that just shows how you can use social media and go and find your target audience and learn more about them and learn their problems. You want to learn their pain points, and that will help you market to them better. So, target audience, and okay, what is next? Business goals. Business goals kind of goes with branding, and you want to, before you jump on social media, you have to establish what you want to get out of social media and what are your actual business goals. Do you want to hire some more employees and expand your business? Do you want more sales? This is a very common one, or more clients, more leads. Also, maybe you want to strengthen your reputation. Maybe you've had a couple of bumps along the road and you really need to strengthen your reputation. You can do that. You can increase your recognition. You can increase the word about your brand. Just really define those goals so that you have intention behind each post that goes towards that goal, and that you're always focused on the main thing and you're not just floundering and posting whatever and not having intention behind your posts. So after you define all of these things, I kind of like to divide, this kind of like divides into 2 parts, and that is part 1, and that's defining everything about you, your brand, your goals, and your target audience. And you also want to identify your competitors as well. I kind of like to do that after I'm on. If you have a specific one that's outside of social media, say you're a brick and mortar, a restaurant or a store, you can kind of define that up here in part 1 when you're talking about yourself and recording knowledge about yourself. Okay. So, part 2 is the fun stuff. So, you've defined your target audience, and that is what is going to help you with this next step. And the next step is picking your platform. So when you're picking a platform, I always advise to start with 1 or 2 platforms. And this isn't, even if you are social media savvy and you understand them all, picking 1 to 2 is normally the best option because you don't want to spread yourself too thin. Even with myself, I'm a little bit different only because I have to do the research on all the different ones. So I try to designate my time to all of them for my personal brand. But if you put all of your energy into 1 or 2, then you are going to succeed very well on those platforms, and you have more likely of a chance to get some traction going on those. So and this is which platform to pick. It's simple. You pick the platform that your audience is on, okay? Your market needs to be on this platform. If your target market is 50-year-old men who like to play golf on the weekends, you're not going to want to be on Snapchat. Or maybe, what's another example? Maybe your target market is 16-year-old girls who like to go to the beach or like to get pedicures. It's just an example. I have no idea on the top of my head. You might want to be on Snapchat or Instagram, but you're not going to want to be on LinkedIn, and you're probably not even going to want to be on Facebook. Also, something to keep in mind is don't just pick the platform that you yourself are comfortable with. That's not a good that's not a good idea. What is important, and I've tweeted this a couple of times, it's not about you. It's about your customers and clients. You wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for your customers and clients. So you need to go with where their attention is and not just with what you're comfortable with. You have to kind of break out of your shell with social media and try new things and research new platforms depending on where your target audience actually is. So after you pick a platform, let's see. After you pick your platform, before you start deciding on what to post or any of that, you want to research the platform. You want to get on there. You want to find competitors or similar accounts like yours. You want to find people that are crushing it and see what they're doing and see what they're doing right, see what they're doing wrong, see if maybe they're running certain contests and you're like, wow, they're getting a lot of traction on that. Make notes of that. And you're also going to want to see how that platform uses hashtags or how their search function is set up. How do you get discovered on that platform? A lot of the times you can go to YouTube and just type in the search bar, how to use this platform, how to use Instagram, what is Snapchat, what are, just think of some questions that you have over the platform and just get all of that down before you start. And even with platforms that you might use personally or you have used personally in the past, for example, Facebook, a lot of people have been on Facebook for a long time, but when it comes to marketing your business, you need to learn the logistics to it and how to use it actually for business and for marketing to use it successfully. Okay, so, and with that, that includes hashtag research. Like for Twitter, you want to always do your research for hashtags beforehand, and same with keywords, and same with Instagram. That's important as well in the research phase. So, what is next? I have to readjust here. The next step is to figure out what to post. So this is sometimes can be the hardest part for people to figure out what is going to really captivate their audience. And sometimes you could have all of your categories and what you want to post, and you could see less engagement on some posts, and you can maybe shift your strategy a little bit. But the first month is the hardest because you never really know how your audience is going to react to certain photos. Like on my Instagram, for example, I live out in the country in the middle of nowhere, and I have lots of trees and lots of nature, flowers, whatever, all kinds of stuff outside stuff. But when I post a picture that I think is cool of like a tree, my target audience doesn't really like stuff like that. They're more into pictures of, like, when I take a picture of my Canon 70D, that gets a lot, or sometimes even if I take a selfie, that gets a lot better engagement than a picture that I would take of my fire pit outside or a picture of a baby blackjack tree. But I didn't know that until I tried it. So you really have to kind of experiment in the first couple of months sometimes to really figure out what is going to get the best engagement. So when picking out or deciding what to post, I suggest, and I actually got this suggestion from Amy Schmittauer her book Vlog Like a Boss. And she talks about having buckets or categories of she refers to videos, but I have taken that and put it into posts. You can have categories for your posts. So on Instagram, select, like if you're on Instagram or even Snapchat or Facebook, select like 3 or 4 different categories of things to post. So let's just say we're on Facebook. Maybe one of your categories is curated content around your niche, and then the next one is infographics, and then the next one you share one of your own blog posts or one of your own videos, and then you have another category where you try to funnel people into your Instagram account, so you post an Instagram photo and try and get people to go follow you there. See, there's categories, and you stick to those, and that's it. I think one of the most important platforms to do this on, it's important on all of them, is Instagram, because when you go to your Instagram profile, you want it to look very unified and beautiful because that's what Instagram is all about. But sorry, shook my desk. That's what Instagram is all about. So it's really good to have your categories over there so that you stick to the same stuff, because that's why people followed your account, to see similar photos to what they maybe stumbled upon in the beginning. So you're going to pick what to post, and then after that you're going to want to decide how, like you're going to want to decide how often to post, and so how often to post, what to post, and then you're going to decide how, like, what activities are you going to be doing whenever you log on, like to engage. So maybe you're going to comment, maybe you're going to log on for an hour and you're going to follow this many accounts, and you're going to comment on a whole bunch of photos, you're going to watch stories. Maybe if you're on Facebook, you're going to go like other business pages. If you are on Snapchat, maybe you're going to watch some stories. If you're on Twitter, maybe you're going to go and you're going to read some other blog posts and engage with people on Twitter. Just that sort of thing. You're going to want to decide what actions you're going to take for your engagement plan. It's not just about the posting, it's about getting back on, responding to comments, and responding to other people's posts as well. Another way to engage, Instagram is a big one right now, is sending out to your current followers. Don't send them to people people that you're following. Make sure you're sending them to your followers, direct messages. They're very effective, whether you're just saying, hi, how are you? Or maybe you are telling them something that you can do for them, or saying, hey, I want to give you a t-shirt, stuff like that. Sometimes that's in with your strategy as well. Just make sure that they're your followers, or it's going to go to their other inbox that they cannot see. It's like a hidden inbox. I hate it, actually. But okay, so once you decide, you've picked your platform, and you've decided what types of engagement you're going to do to accomplish your business goals, then you are, let's see. Okay. I wanted to add in something and I don't remember what it was. I feel like I had like a statement I wanted to tell you or something. That's okay. We'll just keep going, I guess. Oh, yes. Whenever you are deciding everything that I just talked about, what to post, when to post it, getting it all set up and everything, you need to keep in mind your sales funnel, your online sales funnel. So you always need to keep in mind, okay, do I want people to just see my content here, and do I want to funnel them into my blog so that they can read my blog posts and then later buy within the blog? Or maybe I want to lead them to my online store, or maybe I want them to call me on the phone. Maybe I want them to, maybe first I want to sign them up to my email list, so I want a lead capture page. And you just have to think, or maybe another one you could do is have a Facebook, but your Facebook, all you want to do with that is funnel people into your Instagram so that they can start watching your stories and become accustomed to your brand, and then sell them on Instagram and turn them into, convert them into customers. So that is the thingy I wanted to add in there. Thingy. Okay, so after we have decided, and that's pretty much your whole like plan right there to start out with. So then you want to figure out either how much time you are going to dedicate towards the social media, whether it be daily, per week. Maybe you can put in 30 minutes a day. Maybe you can only put in 1 hour a week to get on Engage. Things will go a little bit slower that way, but maybe that's all that you can contribute. Or maybe you want to delegate this, your social media tasks to someone else, whether it's a receptionist, a secretary, maybe your spouse or your nephew, whatever it might be, or maybe just another employee. You can do that. And since you have all of your branding already established and written down and ready to go, and how you want to sound, and what you want your posts to actually do, and what the intention is behind those, you will be able to tell this person exactly how you want it to go down, pretty much. And that will keep your brand unified and keep your goals on track. What I do not recommend is do not wipe this whole slate clean of everything that I've just said and pretty much just be like to your niece, hey, I want you to make me an Instagram, post to it, and make some stories, and handle my Facebook, and not have any of that stuff that we just talked about. That's where you're going to go wrong, because then they don't know exactly what you want, and they don't know the intentions behind each post and why you're posting them, and it's not going to get anything actually accomplished when you do that. But if you know exactly what's going on and you have all of this material to give them and tell them, hey, this is what I want you to do, this is how I want you to do it, and you're kind of in control and behind the process and know that it's going to be done right, then you can delegate the task as long as they know all of that stuff beforehand. You might get lucky and have a niece or nephew or secretary that can actually crush it because they have a secret creative marketing gene in there, but I wouldn't risk it. So after you delegate and decide who's going to do all that, maybe it's you, maybe you do half and half, however it might be, you're going to want, and in that stage you also want to decide if you're going to sign up for a third-party scheduler, whether it be Buffer. I use Buffer currently, but I've also used Hootsuite, and I've heard some people have success with Meet Edgar, and I'm also following some Later.com is a good one for Instagram. I'm really excited to see what Sprout Social and Tailwind has just come up. They're kind of starting up. They're cool too. Anyway, those are just a couple, but you're going to want to decide which one of those you want to use, or if you want to use one at all, to help you schedule ahead of time. Just remember to log on and engage, and do not use stuff like bots. Anyone who's watched any of my videos knows that I'm not a fan of bots. Okay, so let's see, social media goals. So after you have done that, we've done our branding, we've decided our target audience, we're on a platform, we know what we're going to post, and we know when we're going to post, who's going to do it. Now we need to decide what type of goals we're going to have. So this can be very difficult the first month. So if you're totally off the mark for the first month, do not feel bad, because And you can't just have a certain number. Like, one industry and one product could have a really easy time getting 1,000 followers in 1 month on Twitter, but you could have do the same following strategy and the same amount of tweets for a different product. Say, like a marketer, it's kind of easy to get 1,000 followers a month on Twitter, but a band, it's kind of hard. It's pretty difficult to get that many. It's kind of difficult to get 500 in 1 month. So even with the same strategy. So you really, with goals and stuff, it's think low on the low end, and just bleh. Woo. Live streaming. Normally, if this was a video, I would, clip it right here. Okay, anyway, so when you're establishing these goals, set low ones for the first month and try not to beat yourself up if you don't accomplish them, because this is your first month. You don't really know how exactly it's going to go. And when you're setting goals, you can set follower goals. Some people say, followers are vanity metrics, and I would agree with that. It's not about how many followers you have. It's about how much engagement you actually get from those followers. But I think followers are still a good way to kind of measure how you're doing. I like to, it just kind of depends on what platform you're on, really. Like Snapchat, it's not about the followers, it's about how many people are actually watching your stories all the way through. And same with Instagram, it's about how many people are commenting and the likes of that. So set some goals, experiment with what you want to set. One that you always need to track from most platforms, it's kind of hard to track on Snapchat unless you do screenshots, is link clicks. So in your Instagram, you want to be tracking your link clicks, whether it's through, maybe you prefer Google Analytics if it's going to your website, or you have a short link like bit.ly, or maybe, I feel like there was one more that I was going to say, or maybe you track it right through the platform. They have a way you can look at link clicks now. Whichever way you prefer, but you need to be seeing how often you are getting link clicks. I think that's very important, because that is website traffic. That is seeing how many people are actually getting to your online store or to your blog post, and how effective your profile is to leading them there. And I think that's very important. So that's one that you always need to have on every platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. Okay, so once you establish all of that, you have your goals, then after you get everything set up and you get things going, that is when, and I kind of already touched on this just now, is your analytics and your metrics. So you want to have some sort of system in place and decide, this kind of, like I said, blends in with the goals. You want to decide which numbers you're actually going to be tracking, and you want to either have a third-party system set up for for metrics. A lot of platforms now actually have built-in metrics, so you can either do that, or you can decide on a third-party metrics, analytics, or some people like to set them up themselves in Excel, and that's kind of what I've been doing. I'd really like to switch over to maybe a third-party metrics and analytics tracking instead of doing Excel, because I'm doing it all manually, but I'm so picky when it comes to stuff like that. So if y'all have any suggestions for me, please let me know, because I really do want to switch over to that. So after all that, you have everything set up and everything's going good, I suggest evaluating and adjusting is the next step. And that I suggest doing this every month. Then every 6 months, I suggest looking at your whole strategy again and deciding things that definitely aren't working, things that you want to change. Maybe you want to add in some different campaigns to do some sort of, have some sort of different goal in mind. I don't know. You really need to look at that and adjust. But you can, and this is from brand to brand, person to person. Some people like to look every single week at their metrics, and I do that occasionally, not at the very, very detailed metrics, but at like just simple things like on Instagram. If I posted a picture at 7 a.m. one day and then with the same hashtag, same style of picture, and then and it got like 20 likes, and then posted the same one, same hashtags, same style of picture, like I just said, at like 8 p.m. and it got like 75 likes compared to 20, I'm obviously going to change the time of day I post. I'm not going to post it at that time of day. Sometimes I go over those like weekly, but not in like extreme detail. I normally don't change much until the end of the month all at one time, because if you do that too much, you might drive yourself insane. It just kind of depends on your personality and how you like to measure metrics. So I think I covered everything in 35 minutes. Woohoo! So if anyone is still watching and you have any questions for me that you want me to answer, I know if you're still here, I know you can ask me anytime on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook groups or wherever, but I am probably going to wrap it up if y'all don't have questions. I'll wait because there is a delay. But that is pretty much it. I should show y'all what my notes are written on because it's kind of ridiculous before I go. Thanks, Caleb, for watching. This is my notes. It's on like a little fish coloring book page because I was busy and didn't want to find a notepad. Okay. Anyway, I am going to go. If you are stumbling upon this video and you made it to the end, congratulations. Definitely subscribe if you aren't already. Have to do that call to action. Hopefully this helps some people out. I will see y'all. Oh, and this is Vlog Every Day in April. Vita, I will see y'all tomorrow. This is day 10. I missed yesterday, and I'm upset about that, but hey, I'm doing a huge 40-minute live stream now, so I think that makes up for it. Okay, I am going to go. I'm going to switch over here, and I will see y'all tomorrow.